In this video, we're going to create user service interface and an implementation class of that interface. So I will go and create a new package. I will select my root package and then create new package, and that's going to be WS service, and click on finish. And inside of that service package, I will create a new class, and that is going to be actually an interface. So I will call it user service and click on finish and change this class to interface. And this interface will contain many more methods other than create user. It will contain get user and get users to return a list of users and to update user details, delete user details, and so on. But at this moment, I'll define only one method, which is going to be called create user. And this method will need to accept the user data transfer object. Let's call it user, and it will need to return user DTO as well. Okay, so let me format this and let me import user data transfer object. Here we go. So now we'll need to create an implementation class for this interface, and I will create a new package as well inside of service layer, and that will be new package, and I will simply call it impl for implementation. Click on finish, and all classes that implement interfaces will go into this package. So I will now create a new class which is going to implement that interface, and I will call it user service implementation, like this. And that will implement an interface. So I'll click on this add button to select an interface. I'll search for user service. This is the interface. Click on OK and click on finish. So that creates a user service implementation class which implements user service interface, and it already created a very simple create user method which is defined in our interface. So what we will now do, we will go back to user controller, and we can now author-wire this user service interface. So I will define a user service property, and I will now import this property, and I will author-wire it into my user controller. So I'll import author-wired. And one more thing that I'll need to do for this author-wire to work, I'll need to go back to my implementation class. Oops, I have not updated the package. So I can simply click, drag and drop it to my implementation package to refactor it. Click on OK. And that will be refactored, and my implementation class will be moved over to implementation package. Okay, so I will double click on user service implementation, and I'll add a new annotation here to mark this user service implementation class as service, and I will import this. Okay, so the user service interface and implementation class is ready. We will need to write its business logic here to implement this method, and we will do that in the following video.